I'm Bruce St. James. She's Becky Lynn. He's Rob Hunter. And these are the stories everyone's talking about on a Funky Friday. We call it The Playlist.
Track 1.
Well, I'll give Newt credit for this. He calls the media out, and he does it to their face at yet another of the seemingly endless GOP debates. CNN's John King asked Mr. Gingrich if he wanted to respond to his ex-wife's claim that he wanted an open marriage you've heard about by now. Well, Newt said, and I quote, I think I can't do it, Newt. I can't do it. So
It's
I'm not
hard.
going to try. I think the destructive, vicious, negative nature of much of the news media makes it harder to govern this country, harder to attract decent people to run for public office. I'm appalled you would begin a presidential debate on a topic like that. Bam! That just happened.
I do think the question was fair, but maybe not to open the debate.
Yeah.
You know, maybe later on in the debate. I think it was inevitable it was going to come up, and I think he knew it.
What I think my problem with this whole entire thing is, it's not about issues. It's not about, quote-unquote, fixing the country that we always say of fixing the economy. It's literally about the soap opera of the GOP political race, and that's the frustrating part for me.
Track 2.
The Italian cruise ship liner still in the news, and the more we hear about it, the worse it seems.
Yeah,
It does.
true.
Here's the latest from all of
boy.
this. Okay,
There's
the captain Francesco Schettino.
Yep.
He apparently ordered dinner after the
Okay.
crash, according
Nice.
to the ship's cook.
Guys got to eat.
And they only reported that there was an electrical problem for
Really?
30 minutes after they hit that rock. So it's like, yeah, we got a little trouble with the wires here. And the mystery blonde woman who was there with the captain says she was just a Russian translator. And she also says, the story about him abandoning ship, she says he worked tirelessly to save over
Tirelessly.
3,000 lives.
Yeah.
It sounds like she's making up excuses like his excuse. He tripped and fell in the lifeboat. It's the same kind of thing. No, he took me out to dinner. We translated Russian. We tried to save the Russian passengers. That's all. This is horrible.
You think it's bad now. He's on house arrest. When do you want to bet he's going to beg to be in a jail soon? Because his wife is probably asking questions about the Russian
Oh,
translator he was having dinner with while the boat sunk. He wants out of the house, and he wants out now.
Track 3.
So just one day after that Stop Online Piracy Act lost a bunch of support, the government goes out and shuts down a different file-sharing website. This one was called Megaupload, and the Bureau says it has generated $175 million in revenue while basically stealing the copyrights to TV shows and movies. They say the value of the things they stole is over $500 million. 7 people have been arrested. Megaupload, this is like a worldwide thing.
Yeah.
There's Hong Kong arrest, New Zealand arrest, just crazy. Of course, the hackers responded by shutting down the Department of Justice websites and that of Universal Music.
That'll teach you.
Yeah.
Listen, the list of stuff that the owner of Megaupload has, I mean, the guy's got like 30 high-end cars. He's got all kinds of toys. He has a helicopter, for God's sakes. And he did it all by stealing other people's property. Listen, he's an example of exactly what the SOPA was trying to stop.
And I do kind of think it's interesting that he's made so much money, $500 million in stolen copyright stuff over the past few years. Well, obviously, a lot of people were using this Megaupload. So how come it's taken the Department of Justice this long to catch on to it? You know? I don't know.
Is the Department of Justice.
Track 4.
Well, you might remember back in the 70s, you old school Phoenicians, when they built Metro Center. Remember the skating rink? Huh? You could go skating there downstairs, right? Then they
Yes.
turned into a video game play. Oh, yeah. How about cruising around Metro Center until they put the signs up that said, if you pass this point more than twice, we're going to, I don't know, flog you.
Really?
Well, yeah, you couldn't do that. Well, at one point, the entire place was worth over $200 million. It was Metro Center and that surrounding complex. Yeah. Well, it sold after the owner defaulted on a loan for $12 million this week. So there's a new owner of Metro Center, and apparently it ain't worth what it used to be.
Even I remember Metro Center being
Of course you do.
a hot spot. And, we only moved out here into the 80s, but I remember the ice rink, and I shopped there many times.
Yes.
It's kind of sad to go over there now and see what it's kind of fallen into.
Yeah.
You know?
Malls have become like Vegas. It's like every 5 years they got to tear it down and build a
Blow
newer
that
and
thing
bigger
up.
one,
That's
right? It's like,
Yeah.
this casino is not fancy enough anymore. This mall isn't either. Metro Center. Maybe it'll have a comeback.
Well, it's got an amusement park.
There we go.
There we
See?
go, on our
We're onto
way.
something here.
Track 5.
Would you like to have 5 weeks of vacation every year, guys?
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I'm not
I think
taking the
this-
cut.
Well, if you like that, move to France right now because that's their policy.
Nice.
Mandatory
Really?
5 weeks of leave time every year.
Mandatory.
Plus, if they work more than 35 hours a week, they get comp time for every hour over that.
Sounds better and better.
Not
Becky
too
Lynn.
bad. So there's one hospital in Paris that's added it all up, and they say that their workers have earned more than 2 million vacation days collectively. 6,000 years of vacation.
They could take off for the rest of their lives, all starting today, and get paid until they die just based on vacation time. The policies obviously are a tad bit ridiculous. That
You think?
every hour over 35, you get to get comp time?
Yeah, this is the problem where you guys can all say, oh, it'd be great to be in France. It's also why France is not the greatest country in the world. It's why France's economy pales in comparison to ours because they don't work in France. That's why.
Track 6.
What was your guys' high school mascot?
Go Eagles!
Eagles.
Tornadoes.
We were the Panthers at
There you
Whitman
go.
Hanson High School.
Beautiful
Well,
downtown Whitman.
yeah, exactly. Downtown Whitman Hanson. Right on the line, right on the border. Corner Canyon, Utah came up with a new, they had the students vote on a new
Oh,
mascot.
okay, yeah, get together, right.
Kids chose the Cougars. Now, Cougars are a big animal in Utah.
They've
They
got
run
them
around
all
the
over
canyons.
Utah,
Yeah,
like
they
the
run
boys.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah, the principal, though, didn't like the idea because, Cougars, it's an offensive and degrading term to women because obviously the Cougars are the older ladies picking up the younger men. Now, Cougar is offensive.
I have a feeling this is more projecting than it is anything else. What do you want to bet some of the, I'm going to be kind, 40-something-year-old ladies around the school are more afraid of their cougar-like habits than they are the actual furry cat running around in the desert?
I think it's offensive that they would even consider the term cougar offensive. That just
Exactly.
offends me in general. And besides, isn't BYU the Cougars?
Yes, they
Hello?
are.
Hello?
Yes, they are.
Right down the street.
Yeah.
I think it would be hilarious, though, if they had like an older woman be their mascot, like a 42-year-old
Now, that
woman,
would be funny.
parading around
That
like a
would be.
20-year-old on
That
like a
would be
chain
good.
or something.
If they had like Hulk Hogan's
Nice.
ex-wife as their mascot.
Yes.
That would be funny.
That would be.
Now, I would go with that.
I'd
We
even-
need to start
I
an
might even
online
go to a
petition.
game.
I'd go. Can you see it on the side of the helmet? That is the playlist. We do it at 9:30, 10:30, and 11:30. Thank you for joining us for this version of the playlist.